Leviticus, chapters 1 through 11 of the Holy Bible, American Standard Version. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 1. And Jehovah called unto Moses, and spake unto him out of the tent of meeting, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man of you offereth an oblation unto Jehovah, ye shall offer your oblation of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. If his oblation be a burnt offering of the herd, he shall offer it a male without blemish. He shall offer it at the door of the tent of meeting, that he may be accepted before Jehovah. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before Jehovah, and Aaron's sons, the priests, shall present the blood, and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is at the door of the tent of meeting. And he shall flay the burnt offering, and cut it into its pieces. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire upon the altar, and lay wood in order upon the fire. And Aaron's sons the priests shall lay the pieces, the head, and the fat, in order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But its inwards and its legs shall he wash with water. And the priest shall burn the whole on the altar for a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto Jehovah. And if his oblation be of the flock, of the sheep, or of the goats, for a burnt offering, he shall offer it a male without blemish, and he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward before Jehovah. And Aaron's sons the priests shall sprinkle its blood upon the altar round about, and he shall cut it into its pieces, with its head and its fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. But the inwards and the legs shall he wash with water. And the priest shall offer the whole, and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto Jehovah. And if his oblation to Jehovah be a burnt offering of birds, then he shall offer his oblation of turtle-doves, or of young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar, and wring off its head, and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be drained out on the side of the altar. And he shall take away its crop with the filth thereof, and cast it beside the altar on the east part, in the place of the ashes. And he shall rend it by the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto Jehovah. End of chapter 1. Chapter 2. And when any one offereth an oblation of a meal offering unto Jehovah, his oblation shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons, the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the fine flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. And the priest shall burn it as the memorial thereof upon the altar, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto Jehovah. And that which is left of the meal offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Jehovah made by fire. And when thou offerest an oblation of a meal offering baken in the oven, it shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. And if thy oblation be a meal offering of the baking pan, it shall be of fine flour unleavened mingled with oil. Thou shalt part it in pieces, and pour oil thereon. It is a meal offering. And if thy oblation be a meal offering of the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And thou shalt bring the meal offering that is made of these things unto Jehovah, and it shall be presented unto the priest, and he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take up from the meal offering the memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto Jehovah. And that which is left of the meal offering shall be Aaron's and his sons'. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Jehovah made by fire. No meal offering which ye shall offer unto Jehovah shall be made with leaven, for ye shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, as an offering made by fire unto Jehovah. As an oblation of firstfruits ye shall offer them unto Jehovah, but they shall not come up for a sweet savour on the altar. And every oblation of thy meal offering shalt thou season with salt, neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy God to be lacking from thy meal offering. With all thine oblations thou shalt offer salt. And if thou offer a meal offering of firstfruits unto Jehovah, thou shalt offer for the meal offering of thy firstfruits grain in the ear parched with fire, bruised grain of the fresh ear. And thou shalt put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meal offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the bruised grain thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto Jehovah. End of chapter 2. Chapter 3. And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offerings, if he offer of the herd, whether male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before Jehovah. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his oblation, and kill it at the door of the tent of meeting. And Aaron's sons the priests shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of peace offerings an offering made by fire unto Jehovah, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the loins, and the caul upon the liver, with the kidneys, shall he take away. And Aaron's sons shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt offering, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto Jehovah. And if his oblation for a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Jehovah be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his oblation, then shall he offer it before Jehovah, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of his oblation, and kill it before the tent of meeting. And Aaron's sons shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of peace offerings an offering made by fire unto Jehovah, the fat thereof, the fat tail entire, he shall take away hard by the backbone, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the loins, and the caul upon the liver, with the kidneys shall he take away. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto Jehovah. And if his oblation be a goat, then he shall offer it before Jehovah, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tent of meeting. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his oblation, even an offering made by fire unto Jehovah, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the loins, and the caul upon the liver, with the kidneys, shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire. For a sweet savour all the fat is Jehovah's. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations in all your dwellings, that ye shall eat neither fat nor blood. End of chapter 3. Chapter 4. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If any one shall sin unwittingly in any of the things which Jehovah hath commanded not to be done, and shall do any one of them, if the anointed priest shall sin so as to bring guilt on the people, then let him offer for his sin, which he hath sinned, a young bullock without blemish unto Jehovah for a sin offering. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tent of meeting before Jehovah, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the bullock, and kill the bullock before Jehovah. And the anointed priest shall take of the blood of the bullock, and bring it to the tent of meeting. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before Jehovah, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before Jehovah, which is in the tent of meeting. And all the blood of the bullock shall he pour out at the base of the altar of burnt offering, which is at the door of the tent of meeting. And all the fat of the bullock of the sin offering he shall take off from it, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the loins, and the caul upon the liver, with the kidneys, shall he take away, as it is taken off from the ox of the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar of burnt offering. And the skin of the bullock, and all its flesh, with its head, and with its legs, and its inwards, and its dung, even the whole bullock, shall he carry forth without the camp unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn it on wood with fire, where the ashes are poured out shall it be burnt. And if the whole congregation of Israel err, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done any of the things which Jehovah hath commanded not to be done, and are guilty, when the sin wherein they have sinned is known, then the assembly shall offer a young bullock for a sin offering, and bring it before the tent of meeting. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before Jehovah, and the bullock shall be killed before Jehovah. And the anointed priest shall bring of the blood of the bullock to the tent of meeting. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before Jehovah, before the veil. And he shall put of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is before Jehovah, that is in the tent of meeting, and all the blood shall he pour out at the base of the altar of burnt offering, which is at the door of the tent of meeting. And all the fat thereof shall he take off from it, and burn it upon the altar. Thus shall he do with the bullock. As he did with the bullock of the sin offering, so shall he do with this. And the priest shall make atonement for them, and they shall be forgiven. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn it as he burned the first bullock. It is the sin offering for the assembly. When a ruler sinneth, and doeth unwittingly any one of all the things which Jehovah his God hath commanded not to be done, and is guilty, if his sin wherein he hath sinned be made known to him, he shall bring for his oblation a goat, a male without blemish, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat, and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before Jehovah. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering. And the blood thereof shall he pour out at the base of the altar of burnt offering. And all the fat thereof shall he burn upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall make atonement for him as concerning his sin, and he shall be forgiven. And if any one of the common people sin unwittingly in doing any of the things which Jehovah hath commanded not to be done, and be guilty, if his sin which he hath sinned be made known to him, then he shall bring for his oblation a goat, a female without blemish, for his sin which he hath sinned. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and kill the sin offering in the place of burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering. And all the blood thereof shall he pour out at the base of the altar. And all the fat thereof shall he take away, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savour unto Jehovah. And the priest shall make atonement for him, and he shall be forgiven. And if he bring a lamb as his oblation for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and kill it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering. And all the blood thereof shall he pour out at the base of the altar, and all the fat thereof shall he take away, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them on the altar, upon the offerings of Jehovah made by fire. And the priest shall make atonement for him, as touching his sin that he hath sinned, and he shall be forgiven. End of chapter 4. Chapter 5. And if any one sin, in that he heareth the voice of adjuration, he being a witness, whether he hath seen or known, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if any one touch any unclean thing, whether it be the carcass of an unclean beast, or the carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and it be hidden from him, and he be unclean, then he shall be guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever his uncleanness be, wherewith he is unclean, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. Or if any one swear rashly with his lips to do evil, or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall utter rashly with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these things. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that wherein he hath sinned, and he shall bring his trespass offering unto Jehovah for his sin which he hath sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a goat for a sin offering, and the priest shall make atonement for him as concerning his sin. And if his means suffice not for a lamb, then he shall bring his trespass offering for that wherein he hath sinned, 2 turtle-doves, or 2 young pigeons, unto Jehovah, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off its head from its neck, but shall not divide it asunder, and he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be drained out at the base of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the ordinance, and the priest shall make atonement for him as concerning his sin which he hath sinned, and he shall be forgiven. But if his means suffice not for 2 turtle-doves, or 2 young pigeons, then he shall bring his oblation for that wherein he hath sinned, the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. And he shall bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it as the memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, upon the offerings of Jehovah made by fire. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for him as touching his sin, that he hath sinned in any of these things, and he shall be forgiven. And the remnant shall be the priest's, as the meal offering. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, If any one commit a trespass, and sin unwittingly in the holy things of Jehovah, then he shall bring his trespass offering unto Jehovah, a ram without blemish out of the flock, according to thy estimation in silver by shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make restitution for that which he hath done amiss in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest. And the priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and he shall be forgiven. And if any one sin, and do any of the things which Jehovah hath commanded not to be done, though he knew it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, according to thy estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make atonement for him concerning the thing wherein he erred unwittingly, and knew it not, and he shall be forgiven. It is a trespass offering. He is certainly guilty before Jehovah. End of chapter 5. Chapter 6. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, If any one sin, and commit a trespass against Jehovah, and deal falsely with his neighbor in a matter of deposit, or of bargain, or of robbery, or have oppressed his neighbor, or have found that which was lost, and deal falsely therein, and swear to a lie, in any of all these things that a man doeth, sinning therein, then it shall be, if he hath sinned, and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took by robbery, or the thing which he hath gotten by oppression, or the deposit which was committed to him, or the lost thing which he found, or anything about which he hath sworn falsely. He shall even restore it in full, and shall add the 5th part more thereto. Unto him to whom it appertaineth shall he give it, in the day of his being found guilty. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Jehovah, a ram without blemish out of the flock, according to thy estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make atonement for him before Jehovah, and he shall be forgiven concerning whatsoever he doeth, so as to be guilty thereby. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the law of the burnt offering. The burnt offering shall be on the hearth upon the altar all night unto the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be kept burning thereon. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall he put upon his flesh, and he shall take up the ashes whereto the fire hath consumed the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. And he shall put off his garments, and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes without the camp unto a clean place. And the fire upon the altar shall be kept burning thereon, it shall not go out, and the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and he shall lay the burnt offering in order upon it, and shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. Fire shall be kept burning upon the altar continually, it shall not go out. And this is the law of the meal offering. The sons of Aaron shall offer it before Jehovah, before the altar. And he shall take up therefrom his handful of the fine flour of the meal offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the meal offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savour, as the memorial thereof unto Jehovah. And that which is left thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat. It shall be eaten without leaven in a holy place. In the court of the tent of meeting they shall eat it. It shall not be baken with leaven. I have given it as their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most holy, as the sin offering and as the trespass offering. Every male among the children of Aaron shall eat of it, as his portion forever throughout your generations, from the offerings of Jehovah made by fire. Whosoever toucheth them shall be holy. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, This is the oblation of Aaron and of his sons, which they shall offer unto Jehovah in the day when he is anointed, the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a meal offering perpetually, half of it in the morning, and half thereof in the evening. On a baking pan it shall be made with oil. When it is soaked, thou shalt bring it in. In bacon pieces shalt thou offer the meal offering for a sweet savour unto Jehovah. And the anointed priest that shall be in his stead from among his sons shall offer it. By a statute forever it shall be wholly burnt unto Jehovah. And every meal offering of the priest shall be wholly burnt, it shall not be eaten. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, saying, This is the law of the sin offering. In the place where the burnt offering is killed shall the sin offering be killed before Jehovah. It is most holy. The priest that offereth it for sin shall eat it. In a holy place shall it be eaten, in the court of the tent of meeting. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy, and when there is sprinkled of the blood thereof upon any garment, thou shalt wash that whereon it was sprinkled in a holy place. But the earthen vessel wherein it is boiled shall be broken, and if it be boiled in a brazen vessel, it shall be scoured and rinsed in water. Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It is most holy. And no sin offering, whereof any of the blood is brought into the tent of meeting to make atonement in the holy place, shall be eaten. It shall be burnt with fire. End of chapter 6. Chapter 7. And this is the law of the trespass offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of it all the fat thereof, the fat tail, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the loins, and the caul upon the liver, with the kidneys shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto Jehovah. It is a trespass offering. Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It shall be eaten in a holy place. It is most holy. As is the sin offering, so is the trespass offering. There is one law for them. The priest that maketh atonement therewith, he shall have it. And the priest that offereth any man's burnt offering, even the priest shall have to himself the skin of the burnt offering which he hath offered. And every meal offering that is baken in the oven, and all that is dressed in the frying pan, and on the baking pan, shall be the priest's that offereth it. And every meal offering mingled with oil or dry shall all the sons of Aaron have, one as well as another. And this is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which one shall offer unto Jehovah. If he offer it for a thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the sacrifice of thanksgiving unleavened cakes mingled with oil, and unleavened wafers anointed with oil, and cakes mingled with oil of fine flour soaked. With cakes of leavened bread he shall offer his oblation with the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving. And of it he shall offer one out of each oblation for a heave offering unto Jehovah. It shall be the priest's that sprinkleth the blood of the peace offerings. And the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten on the day of his oblation. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. But if the sacrifice of his oblation be a vow, or a freewill offering, it shall be eaten on the day that he offereth his sacrifice. And on the morrow that which remaineth of it shall be eaten. But that which remaineth of the flesh of the sacrifice on the 3rd day shall be burnt with fire. And if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings be eaten on the 3rd day, it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be imputed unto him that offereth it. It shall be an abomination, and the soul that eateth of it shall bear his iniquity. And the flesh that toucheth any unclean thing shall not be eaten, it shall be burnt with fire. And as for the flesh, every one that is clean shall eat thereof. But the soul that eateth of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings that pertain unto Jehovah, having his uncleanness upon him, that soul shall be cut off from his people. And when any one shall touch any unclean thing, the uncleanness of man, or an unclean beast, or any unclean abomination, and eat of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which pertain unto Jehovah, that soul shall be cut off from his people. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, Ye shall eat no fat of ox, or sheep, or goat, and the fat of that which dieth of itself, and the fat of that which is torn of beasts, may be used for any other service, but ye shall in no wise eat of it. For whosoever eateth the fat of the beast, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto Jehovah, even the soul that eateth it shall be cut off from his people. And ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of bird or of beast, in any of your dwellings. Whosoever it be that eateth any blood, that soul shall be cut off from his people. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, He that offereth the sacrifice of his peace offerings unto Jehovah shall bring his oblation unto Jehovah out of the sacrifice of his peace offerings. His own hands shall bring the offerings of Jehovah made by fire. The fat with the breast shall he bring, that the breast may be waved for a wave offering before Jehovah. And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aaron's and his sons'. And the right thigh shall ye give unto the priest for a heave offering out of the sacrifices of your peace offerings. He among the sons of Aaron that offereth the blood of the peace offerings and the fat shall have the right thigh for a portion. For the wave breast and the heave thigh have I taken of the children of Israel out of the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aaron the priest, and unto his sons as their portion forever from the children of Israel. This is the anointing portion of Aaron, and the anointing portion of his sons, out of the offerings of Jehovah made by fire, in the day when he presented them to minister unto Jehovah in the priest's office, which Jehovah commanded to be given them of the children of Israel, in the day that he anointed them. It is their portion forever throughout their generations. This is the law of the burnt offering, of the meal offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecration, and of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which Jehovah commanded Moses in Mount Sinai, in the day that he commanded the children of Israel to offer their oblations unto Jehovah in the wilderness of Sinai. End of chapter 7. Chapter 8. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and the bullock of the sin offering, and the 2 rams, and the basket of unleavened bread, and assemble thou all the congregation at the door of the tent of meeting. And Moses did as Jehovah commanded him, and the congregation was assembled at the door of the tent of meeting. And Moses said unto the congregation, This is the thing which Jehovah hath commanded to be done. And Moses brought Aaron and his sons, and washed them with water, and he put upon him the coat, and girded him with the girdle, and clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod upon him, and he girded him with the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and bound it unto him therewith. And he placed the breastplate upon him, and in the breastplate he put the Urim and the Thummim. And he set the mitre upon his head, and upon the mitre in front did he set the golden plate, the holy crown, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And Moses took the anointing oil, and anointed the tabernacle, and all that was therein, and sanctified them. And he sprinkled thereof upon the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all its vessels, and the laver and its base, to sanctify them. And he poured of the anointing oil upon Aaron's head, and anointed him to sanctify him. And Moses brought Aaron's sons, and clothed them with coats, and girded them with girdles, and bound head tires upon them, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And he brought the bullock of the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bullock of the sin offering, and he slew it. And Moses took the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar, and sanctified it, to make atonement for it. And he took all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul of the liver, and the 2 kidneys and their fat, and Moses burned it upon the altar. But the bullock and its skin, and its flesh, and its dung, he burnt with fire without the camp, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And he presented the ram of the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he killed it, and Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he cut the ram into its pieces, and Moses burnt the head, and the pieces, and the fat. And he washed the inwards and the legs with water, and Moses burnt the whole ram upon the altar. It was a burnt offering for a sweet savor. It was an offering made by fire unto Jehovah, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And he presented the other ram, the ram of consecration, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he slew it. And Moses took of the blood thereof, and put it upon the tip of Aaron's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put of the blood upon the tip of their right ear, and upon the thumb of their right hand, and upon the great toe of their right foot. And Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he took the fat, and the fat tail, and all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul of the liver, and the 2 kidneys and their fat, and the right thigh, and out of the basket of unleavened bread that was before Jehovah he took 1 unleavened cake, and 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer, and placed them on the fat, and upon the right thigh. And he put the whole upon the hands of Aaron, and upon the hands of his sons, and waved them for a wave offering before Jehovah. And Moses took them from off their hands, and burnt them on the altar upon the burnt offering. They were a consecration for a sweet savor. It was an offering made by fire unto Jehovah. And Moses took the breast, and waved it for a wave offering before Jehovah. It was Moses' portion of the ram of consecration, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And Moses took of the anointing oil, and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aaron, upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aaron, his garments, and his sons' garments with him. And Moses said unto Aaron and to his sons, Boil the flesh at the door of the tent of meeting, and there eat it, and the bread that is in the basket of consecration, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. And that which remaineth of the flesh and of the bread shall ye burn with fire, and ye shall not go out from the door of the tent of meeting 7 days, until the days of your consecration be fulfilled. For he shall consecrate you 7 days. As hath been done this day, so Jehovah hath commanded to do, to make atonement for you. And at the door of the tent of meeting shall ye abide day and night 7 days, and keep the charge of Jehovah, that ye die not, for so I am commanded. And Aaron and his sons did all the things which Jehovah commanded by Moses. End of chapter 8. Chapter 9. And it came to pass on the 8th day, that Moses called Aaron and his sons, and the elders of Israel. And he said unto Aaron, Take thee a calf of the herd for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, without blemish, and offer them before Jehovah. And unto the children of Israel thou shalt speak, saying, Take ye a he-goat for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both a year old, without blemish, for a burnt offering, and an ox and a ram for peace offerings, to sacrifice before Jehovah, and a meal offering mingled with oil, for today Jehovah appeareth unto you. And they brought that which Moses commanded before the tent of meeting, and all the congregation drew near and stood before Jehovah. And Moses said, This is the thing which Jehovah commanded that ye should do, and the glory of Jehovah shall appear unto you. And Moses said unto Aaron, Draw near unto the altar, and offer thy sin offering and thy burnt offering, and make atonement for thyself and for the people, and offer the oblation of the people, and make atonement for them, as Jehovah commanded. So Aaron drew near unto the altar, and slew the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aaron presented the blood unto him, and he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar. But the fat and the kidneys, and the caul from the liver of the sin offering, he burnt upon the altar, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And the flesh and the skin he burnt with fire without the camp. And he slew the burnt offering, and Aaron's sons delivered unto him the blood, and he sprinkled it upon the altar round about, and they delivered the burnt offering unto him piece by piece, and the head, and he burnt them upon the altar. And he washed the inwards and the legs, and burnt them upon the burnt offering on the altar. And he presented the people's oblation, and took the goat of the sin offering which was for the people, and slew it, and offered it for sin as the first. And he presented the burnt offering, and offered it according to the ordinance. And he presented the meal offering, and filled his hand therefrom, and burnt it upon the altar, besides the burnt offering of the morning. He slew also the ox and the ram, the sacrifice of peace offerings, which was for the people. And Aaron's sons delivered unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about. And the fat of the ox and of the ram, the fat tail, and that which covereth the inwards, and the kidneys, and the caul of the liver. And they put the fat upon the breasts, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. And the breasts and the right thigh Aaron waved for a wave offering before Jehovah, as Moses commanded. And Aaron lifted up his hands toward the people, and blessed them. And he came down from offering the sin offering, and the burnt offering, and the peace offerings. And Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting, and came out, and blessed the people. And the glory of Jehovah appeared unto all the people. And there came forth fire from before Jehovah, and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat. And when all the people saw it, they shouted, and fell on their faces. End of chapter 9. Chapter 10. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took each of them his censer, and put fire therein, and laid incense thereon, and offered strange fire before Jehovah, which he had not commanded them. And there came forth fire from before Jehovah, and devoured them, and they died before Jehovah. Then Moses said unto Aaron, This is it that Jehovah spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all the people I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace. And Moses called Mishael and Elzaphan, the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aaron, and said unto them, Draw near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp. So they drew near, and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moses had said. And Moses said unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar his sons, Let not the hair of your heads go loose, neither rend your clothes, that ye die not, and that he be not wroth with all the congregation. But let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning which Jehovah hath kindled. And ye shall not go out from the door of the tent of meeting, lest ye die. For the anointing oil of Jehovah is upon you. And they did according to the word of Moses. And Jehovah spake unto Aaron, saying, Drink no wine, nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, when ye go into the tent of meeting, that ye die not. It shall be a statute for ever throughout your generations, and that ye may make a distinction between the holy and the common, and between the unclean and the clean, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which Jehovah hath spoken unto them by Moses. And Moses spake unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar his sons that were left, take the meal offering that remaineth of the offerings of Jehovah made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most holy. And ye shall eat it in a holy place, because it is thy portion, and thy son's portion, of the offerings of Jehovah made by fire, for so I am commanded. And the wave breast and the heave thigh shall ye eat in a clean place, thou and thy sons and thy daughters with thee, for they are given as thy portion, and thy son's portion out of the sacrifices of the peace offerings of the children of Israel. The heave thigh and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat, to wave it for a wave offering before Jehovah. And it shall be thine and thy sons with thee, as a portion forever, as Jehovah hath commanded. And Moses diligently sought the goat of the sin offering, and behold, it was burnt. And he was angry with Eleazar and with Ithamar, the sons of Aaron, that were left, saying, Wherefore have ye not eaten the sin offering in the place of the sanctuary, seeing it is most holy? And he hath given it you to bear the iniquity of the congregation, to make atonement for them before Jehovah. Behold, the blood of it was not brought into the sanctuary within. Ye should certainly have eaten it in the sanctuary, as I commanded. And Aaron spake unto Moses, Behold, this day have they offered their sin offering and their burnt offering before Jehovah. And there have befallen me such things as these. And if I had eaten the sin offering today, would it have been well-pleasing in the sight of Jehovah? And when Moses heard that, it was well-pleasing in his sight. End of chapter 10. Chapter 11. And Jehovah spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the living things which ye may eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that may ye eat. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that part the hoof. The camel, because he cheweth the cud, but parteth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but parteth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the hare, because she cheweth the cud, but parteth not the hoof, she is unclean unto you. And the swine, because he parteth the hoof, and is cloven-footed, but cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you. Of their flesh ye shall not eat, and their carcasses ye shall not touch, they are unclean unto you. These may ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, that may ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of all the living creatures that are in the waters, they are an abomination unto you, and they shall be an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, and their carcasses ye shall have in abomination. Whatsoever hath no fins nor scales in the waters, that is an abomination unto you. And these ye shall have in abomination among the birds. They shall not be eaten, they are an abomination. The eagle, and the gyre eagle, and the osprey, and the kite, and the falcon after its kind, every raven after its kind, and the ostrich, and the nighthawk, and the seamew, and the hawk after its kind, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the horned owl, and the pelican, and the vulture, and the stork, the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe, and the bat. All winged creeping things that go upon all fours are an abomination unto you. Yet these may ye eat of all winged creeping things that go upon all fours, which have legs above their feet, wherewith to leap upon the earth. Even these of them ye may eat. The locust after its kind, and the bald locust after its kind, and the cricket after its kind, and the grasshopper after its kind. But all winged creeping things which have 4 feet are an abomination unto you. And by these ye shall become unclean. Whosoever toucheth the carcass of them shall be unclean until the even. And whosoever beareth aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. Every beast which parteth the hoof, and is not cloven-footed, nor cheweth the cud, is unclean unto you. Every one that toucheth them shall be unclean. And whatsoever goeth upon its paws, among all beasts that go on all fours, they are unclean unto you. Whoso toucheth their carcass shall be unclean until the even. And he that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. They are unclean unto you. And these are they which are unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel, and the mouse, and the great lizard after its kind, and the gecko, and the land crocodile, and the lizard, and the sand lizard, and the chameleon. These are they which are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever doth touch them when they are dead shall be unclean until the even. And upon whatsoever any of them when they are dead doth fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherewith any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the even. Then shall it be clean. And every earthen vessel, whereinto any of them falleth, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and it ye shall break. All food therein which may be eaten, that on which water cometh, shall be unclean. And all drink that may be drunk in every such vessel shall be unclean. And everything whereupon any part of their carcass falleth shall be unclean, whether oven or range for pots, it shall be broken in pieces. They are unclean, and shall be unclean unto you. Nevertheless, a fountain or a pit, wherein is a gathering of water, shall be clean, but that which toucheth their carcass shall be unclean. And if aught of their carcass fall upon any sowing seed, which is to be sown, it is clean. But if water be put upon the seed, and aught of their carcass fall thereon, it is unclean unto you. And if any beast of which ye may eat die, he that toucheth the carcass thereof shall be unclean until the even. And he that eateth of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. He also that beareth the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. And every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth is an abomination, it shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever goeth upon all fours, or whatsoever hath many feet, even all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them ye shall not eat, for they are an abomination. Ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth, neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that ye should be defiled thereby. For I am Jehovah your God. Sanctify yourselves therefore, and be ye holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that moveth upon the earth, for I am Jehovah that brought you up out of the land of Egypt, to be your God. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of the beast, and of the bird, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth, to make a distinction between the unclean and the clean, and between the living thing that may be eaten, and the living thing that may not be eaten. End of chapter 11.